everybody knows how powerful legendary Pokemon are. So that's why I decided to spend 100 days using only legendary Pokemon, so that I could become the strongest Pokemon trainer on the Zekrom server. But in order to prove myself, I would need to complete these 5 goals. First, we need to assemble a full team of legendary Pokemon, get them all to level 100. Then we'd need to catch a total of 15 legendary Pokemon, including a legendary found in the War Zone, as well as somehow getting a shiny legendary. Will I be able to complete these goals and become the ultimate legendary trainer on Zekrom? Watch till the end to find out. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because once we reach 2,000 subscribers, I'll create a 100-day video using only Pokemon fusions. And without further ado, let's start our 100-day journey. Now, since starter Pokemon are not legendary Pokemon, this meant I would have to use this Mudkip that I picked until I finally had a legendary on my team. And since I recorded this way back when Easter was a thing, I was able to participate in the Easter egg hunt right as I started my journey. There were around 50 Easter baskets scattered around spawn, and would give me random loot whenever I found one. I didn't think it would help as much at first, but I managed to get a Master Ball from my 9th Easter basket. The best Pokeball you could get and one of the most important items for a challenge like this. I ended up evolving my Mudkip into a Swampert already after using all of the EXP candies I found, and well, baskets were still left to be found, so I continued my hunt. I only stopped after finding my 39th basket because my inventory was getting a bit too cramped. Also, on a complete whim, I ran into the subscriber of mine, so I redeemed a shiny Elekid as one of the many rewards I got from the Easter event and gave it to them as a show of appreciation. I didn't think much of it and continued to walk around spawn, only to see that the same person gifted me the legendary Pokemon Moltres. Now, I'm not a big fan of accepting gifted Pokemon in challenges like these, but if I did accept this, it meant I could actually follow the only rule I set out, being that I can only use a legendary Pokemon, so I accepted it. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, it was just a Moltres, but still, this meant I could now only use legendary Pokemon. After that, it was finally time to set out into the world of Pokemon. I was completely ready to only have Moltres by my side for a long time, until I opened up this uncommon Lucky Block, which upgraded to a rare and then an epic Lucky Block, which was insanely lucky as the epic Lucky Block will spawn a guaranteed shiny legendary Pokemon. In this case, it was the shiny Giratina, which looks incredible. I didn't have to worry about which Pokeball to use since Pokemon spawned from Lucky Blocks have a 100% catch rate. But out of the blue, I was challenged by a trainer known as Shiny Hunter to a battle where we both used 2 Pokemon each. He sent out a Mega Lucario, but was unfortunately met with my Moltres, who knocked it out with just 1 move. And finally, I used my shiny Giratina to defeat his Hisuian Typhlosion, winning me the battle. Once we wrapped up our battle, Shiny Hunter swore he would train up his team and battle me yet again on day 99. So I guess now I had another goal in my 100-day journey, and that is to beat Shiny Hunter when we have our final battle on day 99. I bought an Ice Stone from the Pokemart and combined it with the orb I got earlier from the Easter event to make an Orb of Frozen Souls. Killing 375 Pokemon will allow it to be fully charged and spawn the legendary Pokemon Articuno. But before I could do any of that, a random tournament was starting where I was given a random team and had to battle against multiple random people on the Zekrom server. I had a really stacked team. Well, besides Audino. And well, I did end up winning to no one's surprise. The semifinals started, and I managed to get a free pass to the final round of the tournament because of the uneven amount of players. And luckily enough, thanks to my strong team and decent battling skills, I ended up winning the entire tournament and got an epic crate key as my reward. I opened up my crate and funnily enough got a non-legendary shiny convert and size change. This does not help me at all because I only use legendary Pokemon, so it was pretty cool I won the tournament, but kinda sucked that my rewards cannot be used at all. But now that I was done with the tournament, I continued to knock out Pokemon in the wild to fill up my Orb of Frozen Souls, and if you've ever filled up an orb before, you'd know it's a very long and boring process. But I could finally spawn in the legendary Pokemon Articuno. I used a Master Ball without hesitation and now had 3 legendary Pokemon. But my streak of getting legendary Pokemon wouldn't end there as I found a rare Lucky Block in my 49th Easter basket. This Lucky Block would guarantee me a legendary Pokemon at least, but when I opened it, it upgraded to an epic Lucky Block, which happened to spawn a shiny Zeraora. And once I realized I had a lot of money, I went on the GTS and bought myself a Regidrago too, bringing my total of unique legendaries to 5. Having strong legendary Pokemon wasn't enough. I needed to maximize their potential, so I went ahead and started to EV train my entire team, mainly training up their speed EVs as well as their attack or special attack if it applied to them. Once I was done with that, I went into the Ultra Space Dimension in search of a very particular item, known as type plates. You see, if I collected all of the 17 different type plates available in the game, I would be able to summon the god of all Pokemon, Arceus. So I went ahead and stayed hunting in the Ultra Space Dimension to hopefully find some plates. But just a bit of time later, I saw Pheromosa spawn in front of me. I ended up catching it, and yes, I know, Ultra Beasts are not legendary Pokemon, but I still wanted to use it since it's my favorite Ultra Beast, so I promised the moment I catch another legendary Pokemon, I'll evict it from my team. As soon as I left the Ultra Space Dimension on day 21, I had to store away all my items in the chest because I found too many valuable goods. Oh yeah, I also ended up with 9 out of the total 17 different Arceus plates. But these 2 chests in the middle of nowhere wasn't working for me, so I went off and started building myself a house around this mountain biome. Now I'm not the greatest when it comes to building, but you gotta admit, this does not look bad. Now it was time to actually level up my entire team to level 100. I did so by using countless rare candies thanks to the Easter event, but once I realized that wasn't enough, I went into the boss tower and started defeating boss Pokemon to gain levels, which proved to be hard, once all the boss Pokemon were much stronger than anticipated. Funnily enough, when I went back to my base out of pure frustration, I found a Mega Boss Steelix. Luckily though, it wasn't too much trouble and I ended up getting a Steelixite. But most importantly, got the Mega Band, which will allow me to Mega Evolve my Pokemon in the future. Anyways, after a full day's worth of grinding, I finally got my full team to level 100, and since I still had Pheromosa on my team, it still meant I needed another level 100 legendary on my team to actually complete my goal of a full team of level 100 legendaries. Anyways, it was time to continue my plate hunt in the Ultra Space Dimension. I kid you not, only a couple minutes in and I already found another Pheromosa. I tried to weaken it, but I guess I tried too hard and instead ended up defeating it. My Ultra Beast luck didn't stop there, however, as I did encounter a Kartana not too long after, and this one I did end up catching. There was a server-wide event that was about to start. Oh, so I'm 99% sure the event organizer was flirting with me. Anyways, Roans can wait. I had an event to win. The wall opened up and I ran as fast as I could through this glass maze and accidentally found the perfect path without a single mistake. This allowed me to get the #1 prize, which was an event key. Yeah, I might have lost the other 2 rounds, but I can't wait to see what I get from my event crate. Oh. After receiving a disappointing prize, my rival Shiny Hunter came in clutch and hooked me up with some less disappointing Arceus plates, which made me feel much more of a winner than that stupid Park Ball. I still needed 2 more plates, but right when I thought that was it, Shiny Hunter invited me to his secret base and proceeded to give me both the Splash and the Insect plate. These were the last plates I needed, and now that I had all of the type plates, it was time to call upon God. I used the Azure Flute, and there it rose from the depths of the world. I was looking at the god of all Pokemon, Arceus, which a couple seconds later, ended up in my Master Ball because there was no way I was gonna risk killing it. Catching Arceus though meant I finally completed my goal of having a full team of legendary Pokemon. But that wasn't it. My rival Shiny Hunter tasked me with getting several items, and as I waited for him to work his magic, I was invited to test my luck for the legendary Pokemon Shaman. If I get the piece of cobblestone, I would win. It was a 50-50 chance, but sadly Lady Luck wasn't on my side until I sort of just flicked the lever again and got the piece of cobblestone, which ended up with me still getting the Shaman in the end. I don't know if I unintentionally stole this guy's Shaman or not, but we'll pretend it was always meant to be a gift and just roll with it. As these 2 Arceus were getting busy, Shiny Hunter finally prepared the cloning machine, which would have the chance of cloning his Mew and spawning in a Mewtwo. But sadly the first 2 attempts at cloning Mew went horribly wrong, and now we only had one last attempt before this Mew cannot clone anymore, and we'd just be stuck with 3 Dittos. But as I placed the materials in the cloning machine, I felt a strong sense of power resonating from within the machine. It was Mewtwo. He blew up the cloning machine, and it was my job to catch him. And when you're armed with a Master Ball, it's gonna be a piece of cake. And now I had Mewtwo on my team. But before I could leave, Shiny Hunter wanted to give me one more surprise, and that was a Mewtwo X. This meant I could Mega Evolve my Mewtwo into his X form. We also decided to have a Mega Battle, but Mewtwo was so strong I didn't even realize I won. What I didn't see before though, was that there was a Battle Pass, and that you can earn Pixelmon Lucky Blocks by leveling up your skills, such as fishing, mining, and battling. And since I had a pretty good pickaxe, I decided to mine a lot of ores to increase my mining EXP, which would also contribute to gaining Battle Pass levels. But after I realized it was taking way too long, I went on to battle wild Pokemon while I was filling up my Orb of Static Souls, as well as using EXP candies to level up some random Pokemon I had. This of course all contributed to gaining Battle Pass experience, which finally allowed us to get the uncommon Lucky Block that sadly only gave us a shiny Skrelp. But that's alright, we have an Orb of Static Souls to fill up. And just a tad bit of grinding later, we had it fully charged and able to summon the legendary Pokemon Zapdos, completing the Canto Bird trio and also being the 9th legendary we've caught so far. Now I know we're halfway through the 100-day journey, but we can't forget about one goal, which is catching a legendary Pokemon in the Warzone. The reason why I filled my team with the absolute worst legendaries and Ultra Beasts possible is because if someone battled and defeated me in the Warzone, they'd be able to take away one of my Pokemon, and if that were to happen, I wouldn't want them to take away something valuable like my shiny Giratina. I went in hesitantly and started running around a bit. At first I didn't really see much until it said that Entei had spawned in the Warzone. Luckily I found it before anyone else, but unfortunately enough got kicked out because I ran out of time. Normally Pokemon would despawn once you leave the area, but legendaries usually stay around for much longer, so I knew as long as I quickly went in there, I could find Entei and finally throw my Master Ball and catch him. There was a broadcast that I caught Entei, meaning that everyone on the server knew I was in the Warzone. I had a minute left, but a huge target on my back. Thankfully, after running around a bit, I was warped out of the Warzone and now had Entei on my team. As I was in spawn, I noticed that the Easter event had ended and now a treasure hunt had started. Since it was relatively new, there weren't any guides posted anywhere, so I had to find them all by myself. And just like the Easter event, it gave me super valuable loot. There were 25 chests in total, and finding all of them was a real pain. But I did get a few Lucky Blocks, a Master Ball, as well as a Fusion Shard once I found all of the treasure chests. Now, I wasn't planning on fusing any legendaries in this video, but remember 2,000 subscribers and you'll get a 100-day video where I only used Pokemon fusions. Also, if you're wondering, I didn't get a legendary Pokemon from these Lucky Blocks. So far, I've spent 63 days on this server, and because of that, I have a lot of money, so I ended up buying the legendary Pokemon Urshifu and Heatran. I did also see that a Thundurus was for sale, and being a huge fan of Generation 5, I really wanted to get it on my team. So I went ahead and grinded in the boss tower, which went worse than usual as most of the players were doing the same. But once I had enough money, I saw that Thundurus had already been bought on the GTS, meaning if I wanted to buy a legendary, I'd have to get more money. So I went ahead and sold my fusion shards and continued grinding in the boss tower. But now that I had 120,000 coins, I was able to buy the legendary Pokemon Zacian from the GTS. But that wasn't the only legendary I was able to get, as I soon used all of my voting points to buy a bundle of Pokeballs, which included the GS Ball. The GS Ball was important because it allowed me to summon the mythical Pokemon Celebi from its shrine. In total, I have 14 legendary Pokemon now. I only needed one more unique legendary to complete my final goal for this challenge, and luckily this subscriber actually gave me the 15th legendary Pokemon. It just happened to be another Celebi. I needed 15 different legendary Pokemon for me to actually finish my challenge, so this Celebi didn't count towards that, but it was still super nice of this player to give me a legendary Pokemon for free. Anyways, I invited my subscribers over to my base, where we had some friendly Pokemon battles. This allowed me to get used to my team because I still had to have my final battle with my rival. Anyways, we just kinda hung around my base and had some fun doing absolutely nothing worth noting down. They apparently also built this giant rocket behind my base. I don't know about you, but that's one very long rocket. There was an attempt on the stage to start hunting for the final legendary Pokemon, until I realized that Zekrom was a pretty active server, and had a lot of players online, meaning it's very unlikely for a legendary to spawn on us. I had almost no money at all, and had to get a lot if I wanted to buy another legendary Pokemon to finish my goal. So that's what I did. Killing boss Pokemon, selling loot, killing more boss Pokemon, selling even more loot, until I finally had enough money and decided on buying Enamorus, a legendary Pokemon first introduced in Legends of Arceus, which was one of my favorite Pokemon games ever. This now meant I had 15 unique legendary Pokemon and have finally completed all of my goals. All that was left was to defeat Shiny Hunter, to prove myself as one of the strongest Pokemon trainers on this server. And so, it was time to forge my team for the final battle. I handpicked my team using the best of the best legendary Pokemon, and also Zacian, which happened to be level 80. So I quickly spent a day in the level grinder. It also didn't help that Zacian kept on dying after every single battle. But finally, I had my full team of level 100 legendary Pokemon ready to take down Shiny Hunter. Of course, before we fight him, we still needed some more battle experience, so I attempted to take down the Cyrod NPC only to lose at record speed. But since there was still a lot of time before our battle, I decided to commemorate our achievement by taking some of that time to build this Master Ball trophy as a way to immortalize our achievement on the server. It just took a really long time to build because finding quartz in the Nether gave me physical pain. Still wanting to gain some more battle experience, I fought more trainers at spawn, including a rematch against Cyrod. I also tested my skills at the battle tower, and I'd like to report that I failed so badly in quick succession that the server gave me a 10-hour cooldown. But battling skill wasn't all I needed, as I began building the arena where the final battle would take place. It took a long time to get all the resources and everything, but I really like how it turned out in the end. And once I finished making sure my Pokemon had the best moves possible, I got teleported into the Ultra Space Dimension for the last time in search of a type plate to give to my Arceus. Because for some reason, it's been rocking normal type this entire time, and I honestly don't know why it's taken me this long to realize that. One Pheromosa later, I found this interesting chest that had 4 Beast Balls inside of it. I've done around 5 100-day videos, and this is the first time I've ever seen this. I just thought it was interesting enough to point out. I also found this very cool server-exclusive Paradox Dragapult. Maybe I should do a 100-day video using only Paradox Pokemon. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see that. Anyways, I ended up leaving the Ultra Space Dimension with only 3 type plates and 2 Z crystals. I decided to give Arceus the ground type plate and Zeraora the Phytinium Z. Now that I was fully prepared, it was time to contact Shiny Hunter. And there he was, right in front of me. We went to my huge stadium and even had a little crowd forming to watch the final moments of my 100-day adventure. It was all down to this battle to prove whether or not I've become a strong trainer. Anyways, it was time for the battle to start, and already my Zacian immediately fell to his fused legendary Pokemon between an Arceus and an Eternatus. Luckily, I knew Eternatus was a poison type, which was weak to ground types, so I sent out my ground-plated Arceus to finish it off. Arceus, however, fell to his Meowscarda, so I sent out Entei appropriately, only for him to U-turn into an Inteleon who was a water type. I was feeling very nervous, but I decided to switch out to Zeraora, who sadly could not handle Inteleon's strength. The battle was heavily out of my favor, but I still had one trump card. I sent out Mewtwo and quickly Mega Evolved it, allowing me to knock out Inteleon in a flash, as well as his Meowscarda, who unfortunately took an Aura Sphere to the face. Out came his Hisuian Typhlosion, who unbeknownst to me was immune to all of my attacks and defeated Mewtwo in just one hit. Thankfully, Mewtwo set the balance in this battle, and now, just like the first time we fought, we both had 2 Pokemon left each. Giratina was able to Earth Power his Typhlosion, and after receiving nothing more than a scratch from his Mega Lucario, was able to deal the finishing blow, allowing me to finally achieve all of my goals. We had done it. 100 days using only legendary Pokemon. As the sun began to rise, we all took a photo marking this occasion down in history. It was all finally over. Or was it?